Hey class, let's have a bit of warm up. How do you solve this question? How do we begin? Some of you may realize that, sorry, I keep on losing focus for differentiating this, we got this one, right? Yes. So, but if we differentiate that, we got 2x, not the ones that written there is just x. One moment, something wrong with my camera today. Keep on losing focus. We are lacking of 2, so we multiply 2, but I cannot simply multiply 2 inside. What should I do outside? Need to multiply 1 over 2 outside as well. Okay, because these 2 equals to 1. So simply said, I can get my equation half ex squared plus c. Okay, for those who are not confident with this, which is by using this formula, you can actually use a substitution, which is kind of the same. So instead of doing here straight away, we can say that let u equals to x squared. So du dx is 2x. So du x dx is half. Okay, let me rewrite the equation back just so. So we can have a look here and say, hey, this thing, substitute where? Power. And this whole thing here, substitute where? X dx. So you can get yourself e u, and then here half du, integrating eu, simply still eu, yes, half plus c. Should I leave my answer in this form? No, I should substitute back sub back, and I get my answer e x squared plus c. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is there are two ways to solve it. It's either you realize that, hey, I can use this formula, substitute things back, or you are not confident with yourself, sir, I want to use substitution for me to get the answer. My comment is I don't mind as long as we get the same answer. Because in exams, panic happens and the first thing that came out to your mind. Alright? But I would like to address today some questions that you can't solve it in this method. Can we change the paper? Okay, done. 10 more seconds for those who are still copying. 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, for today's lesson is, I have to admit, it's one of the toughest because it's a new concept for you. It's something that we call integration by parts. Which most teachers will call it such as IBP. Short form of it. Okay, viewers, I have no idea where my Camera keep on defocus. Let's say if you're given something like this, how do you start? What's the difference of this question and what you have done just now? If I were to differentiate the power, what will I get? 1, and this is not 1. And then some people say, sir, don't worry, sir. Just like just now, we multiply. Just now we multiply 2, right? So for this question, we're multiplying x. So if I multiply x here, can I simply multiply x? What should I do? I must multiply 1 over x outside. Now we have a problem. We are trying to integrate x. Normally we multiply number, right? Normally we multiply just a constant. You cannot multiply variables, but you can multiply constants. So this technique will not work. Why? You are multiplying variables. Okay, I have to say sorry to my viewers because camera keep on losing focus. So you cannot, this is variables, you cannot multiply. Got that one clear? Alright, so salah. What should we do? This is where integration by parts came in. Where I'll give you several examples as well, such as this. Or the most famous one, ln x will be sufficient. Let's take this. Okay, what do they have in common? They have x, and then this is exponent. Normally you can call x as polynomial. And this is exponent. This is poly. This is trigo. This is poly. And this is ln. So in a way, I can say we use integration by parts when we have these types of different types of x over there. Okay? We can call it such as this, as ln, poly, exponent, and trigo. These are the 4 types that you will learn. And the priority takes in this direction. Okay, so let's give it a try. Sir, what do you mean by that, sir? There are multiple ways on how to start this topic, but I prefer to do it this way. Do you prefer to memorize formula or do you prefer to memorize pattern? Formula or pattern? Based on my experience, people are going to get confused with formula. But it's very rare you're going to get confused with pattern. Based on my experience. So let's try it this way. We go from this direction Okay, the priority. So the main priority is x instead of the poly before the exponent, okay? People memorize it as such as lepet. That's how people memorize it lah. But I would like to put some improvisation such as lawn pad. I would like to add something there, lawn pad. So you memorize the priority. Firstly is lawn, then poly, and exponent, and trigo. Lawn pad. Why I prefer lawn pad instead of lepet? If lepet, you might memorize it this way. This is lepet, which is kind of the same as without the n just now. Okay? So I prefer if we add an n, become lawn pad. Okay, so based on the priority, you need to differentiate, another one you need to integrate. So the first priority goes to poly. What's your poly there? X. So the next one you need to integrate. What do you need to integrate? The exponent. Okay, do you understand this symbol? V prime, that means it has been differentiated. Okay, so U prime, it means differentiating, 1. What about here? If I change from V prime to V, what does it mean? Integrate. Integrate EX, what do you get? EX. Until here, are you guys okay? So we are differentiating one thing and then we are integrating one thing. Which one to differentiate, which one to integrate? Based on the priority. Okay, now this is where the magic comes in. I'm taking this one. Let's use this one. See, I'm taking these two and then I'm combining them. So I get XEX. You guys okay? And then in the middle, I'm putting myself a negative. And then I'm taking the bottom one and combining them. I'm integrating 1EX. Since this EX is supposed to be what? D what? DX. Can you see the pattern? I'm taking these two, combining them down there. I'm putting a negative. I'm integrating this bottom two. In other words, I'm not taking this one. And I got until here. You guys okay? So let's try again the pattern on this thing over here. So what do you want to do? Okay, firstly, when I look at the question, I see there's a polynomial and then there's a trigo. So that means there are two elements there, two types of x. Which one should I differentiate? Which one should I integrate? I'm differentiating the poly. I'm integrating the trigo. Very good. So differentiating the poly, what do we get? 1. Integrating the trigo. Sin x. Are you okay? So now how do I, using pattern, to combine them? Firstly, I take this x and sin x. Are you okay? Like a Tetris. x sine x. And then what do? I minus. And then what do? I integrate yang, I combine the bottom one, which in this case is 1 sine x. Automatically x there, it's not difficult to memorize. Are you okay? Now what about this one over here? I'm differentiating what and I'm integrating what? I'm differentiating y ln, why not x? The priority goes to ln before x. Okay? So I'm differentiating ln x, I'm also integrating x. Are you guys okay? You want me to repeat that again? Class, tell me why am I differentiating ln, why not x? Priority goes to ln. How do you memorize the priority? Ln pad. So u prime is 1 over x, v is integrating x, x squared over 2. You okay? So how do I combine them? Ln here, the best way to combine is x squared ln x over 2. Are you okay? Can this multiply with the ln, with the x? Why cannot I get x cubed over 2? Because this x is under ln, it cannot combine with this one. So that's why it goes outside. Minus, and then what's next? Integrate of what? The bottom part, sir. Well, you can argue with me. 1 over x, x squared over 2 dx. Are you okay? Now can you see the pattern? Not difficult to memorize. And I remember I don't use this one. Okay, pattern memorize. So let's continue on how to solve them. For the first part here, you don't have to do anything. It's already been solved. But you need to integrate this one. Integrate ex, what do you get? Integrate ex, you still got yourself ex, sir. Should you leave your answer in this form? Yes, you are right. There's a small plus c that I left there. A small thread. In a way, I'm quite proud of you that you remember the plus c. I don't when I was at your age. What about this one here? X sine x is done. You don't have to do anything. Minus. Integrating sine x is negative cos x. So, what should I do with the negative? Negative plus, very good. Plus c, and then we are done. Negative from cos x goes here. What about this one? X squared ln x over 2, and how do you integrate the stuff inside there? Tell me. Tell me why. I forgot the lyrics. Yes, that's a very good question. Sir, can we combine 1 over x and x squared over 2? Sort of combine, but we are simplifying them up. Are you okay? And what do we do with the 2 here? you can take it out outside. So you got yourself negative 1/2, and you are only integrating x dx. Are you okay? And integrating x is x squared over, and over 2, and this 2, what will happen? Over 4. Are you okay? How do I get this 4? Anybody tak faham? Anybody could not understand? Please raise your hand. Integrating x, what do you get? X squared over 2. And the over 2, what do we do with these 2? Times. So I get 4. Remain there minus, not plus there. It's good that you ask now rather than you gone blank in exams, okay? That's a good thing. So far, can you see the pattern? Very, very good. Proud of you. So let's try something harder. Can I change? 10 more seconds. What about this one first? I'll let you try by your own. Not too long, please. 1 minute, that's all. Why by parts? That's a good question. 2 different types. What do I mean by 2 different types? There's a poly and trigo. Okay, good luck on your own. 1 minute, not more than that. Something wrong with my mirror today. Sure, I'm a sort of hardworking student. Sort of. Looking at the camera. Okay, alright, so let's try to be quick. We are what? When you see integration by parts, what's the first step you need to do? You need to differentiate and then you need to integrate. Which one you need to differentiate? X plus 1 or the poly. How do you determine the priority? Lone pad, very good. So differentiating this one here, you got 1. Integrating cos x, sin x, and then I think it's quite the same from what you have done just now. Combining this one, x plus 1, sin x, minus, integrate 1 sin x. Or you can say, hey, why not we just go to sin x? Save a bit of our time. So x plus 1 sin x How now? Integrating sine x, what do we get? Negative cos x, negative, negative. Positive or plus, I understand that pretty much well. Okay? Happy with your life? Okay, now, what about this? I'll let you try it first, and then you see there's a small problem. X squared there. Good luck. You need them. Repetitions. What type of integration is this? Y by parts? Two different types, which is poly exponent. So what should we do? Differentiate and integrate. We are differentiating the poly to x, and then we are integrating the exponent, which gives us EX as well. So what should I do after this? I'm combining. Okay, there's an X over there. Sorry. In Malay language we call it benjol. In English, what do you call that? minus what? Two x ex. Integrating 2x ex. Are you guys okay this far? Sometimes when I'm not quite sure whether it depends on my mood. Are we integrating 2? Sometimes I put it outside. Sometimes I leave it inside. It depends on my mood. Okay, I'm not that consistent. Okay, so how do we integrating on this part here? By parts again. Why? Two different types. What's the different types? Soalan ni saja, and yes, this is actually quite a normal question for exams. We are differentiating what? 2x. We are integrating exponent. You want to try it first? I give you 1 minute. For those who realize this is what we call double by parts, congratulations. Be careful of your negative. Okay, done? Okay, so if I were to continue writing, I'll get myself something like this. X squared EX minus what? Sorry. Don't worry, yeah. 2x EX. I need a... Let's try and see whether they got it right first. One moment, I just flip my pen. And combining the down one here. And I've mentioned to you just now, do we need these two? We put it outside. Yeah, sometimes I'm inconsistent on that part. Is this correct? Why not? I need a big bracket here. If you miss that, then you lose your marks quite a lot in exams. Integrating this one here. The same thing, 2EX. Plus here, I don't mind. But be careful what's going to happen next. X squared EX negative. Remain as negative, no problem, sir. 2x EX. What about here? Plus, why plus? That's your final answer. Be careful with your negative and positive. You don't want to miss your marks. And I swear the exam question is a lot longer than this. We haven't done a definite integral. Okay? If you got it wrong, please retry it again later. You got this whole video to help you. Can I move on to the next one? Okay, this is quite tricky. I will not say it's HOTS level, but the next one I'll say yes. Hands fine. This one might get you some marks out. So firstly, how do we integrate ln x? Click. No by parts. Why not by parts? There's no two types, sir. There's only one. Half correct. Half correct. It's a polite way of saying you are half wrong. Okay. Another thing about integration by parts is whenever you see ln, it's always by parts. Yes. I can say whenever it is wrong, is whenever it's ln, is always by parts. And then we'll see what the half correct just now. Because technically you cannot integrate. We haven't yet learned on how to integrate ln. We haven't yet learned that one. So what do I mean by half correct, sir? Okay, whenever you see, what's your priority again? Pad, right? Ln pad. Can I say this one is 1 multiply ln x? Can I? And this one is actually your poly. Poly wants some crackers. So here, we are differentiating and we are integrating. We are differentiating what? We are differentiating ln. So 1 over x. And then we are integrating. Thing 1. So we got our s x. How do you continue from here? I'll give you a try, 30 seconds. So that's why I said it's not half correct, because you missed the poly. So in a way, if you see the question say integrate ln, it's always by parts. So there's a hidden polynomial there. You can say hidden poly. If you play mobile games, it's hiding in the forest. Okay, so how do we get? The girls are more progressive somehow. X on x minus what? We are combining one over x dx. What can we do with this thing? Sorry. Nampak tak sekarang? Simplify, I got 1. So integrating 1, what do we get? Yes, very good. X ln x minus x dx. Oh, sorry, no dx plus c. I got some people say, should it be minus c, sir? Some people said, should it be minus c, sir? Well, things can go to our example just now. This one here, should it not be minus c, sir? Because c is a constant, so it does not matter minus or plus. Normally we put plus to avoid confusion. Okay? Are you okay with this? In fact, you can actually, in exams, if they ask you, give me the integrating of ln x, you can answer this straight away. X ln x minus x plus c. Technically, you can memorize it. But if you don't memorize them, at least you know how to get them. Okay, so we got until this far. You guys okay? Yes. Now, how do we answer this hence part? Do it right, you get full marks. Do it wrong, 0. How do we begin? Square root, I can also rewrite it as what? ln x 1 over 2. Okay, continue. Almost there. Half correct. Gantikan apa? Okay, ln rule, what can I do with the power? Bring in front. You okay with it? And what can I do this 1 over 2? Bring it out. Are you okay with that? So what should I do now? Should I do by parts for this case? Why not? Because there's a hands over here. If there's a hands over here, what should we do? You need to take the answer from the previous part. So if you were to start by parts again, in exams, how many marks will you get? A total 0. Brutal. Life is cruel. That's your final answers. You can be a bit schema and you say they're from the previous parts. Tak tulis in your level is okay. For your level is okay. University, maybe. College. Or maybe someone being a grammar Nazi on you. Okay, we are running out of time. And I would like to show you one question before we go. I think we have enough time to do it. This is a past year question of 2013. And yes, it's HOTS level. In your book, it will be number 29B. How do we begin? Okay, I like your idea just now. Cos x 1 over 2, and then I'm bringing this to that side. 1 over 2 cos x dx. Is this okay? This is the wrong answer. Why? This technique only works for ln and log. So please don't get yourself confused. You heard me say to you once before, if you see square root, what does it mean? On the last lecture, I told you, if you see square root, what should you do? Let and yes, square both sides. Let u equals to square root x, and then square both sides. You get yourself u squared x. And how should you continue from here? Du dx equals to 1. For those who said x just now, I do the same thing just now before I came to the lecture, so you're not the only one. I'm with you. We are both stupids. I did the same just now, and I got asked like the lecturers and I make a fool of myself. Okay, how do you continue from here? Du 1 dx, yes, I can accept that. 1 dx, I can take it. Normally I just write down the x. And how should you continue from here? I give you 30 seconds to substitute. try and substitute first and then have a look. 1 minute, have a look. Try and stop and have a look. And tell me how do you solve that one. Substitute first. And tell me how you continue. You're being hyperactive right now. In a way, the guys are quite active, so proud of it. Someone following the camera. They're not doing maths. How do you continue? Okay, so I try to substitute and I said, okay, this one here, substitute where? Okay, and then this one here, substitute where? Okay, so what do I get? Cos what? Cos u. And then, what about the dx? 2u du. And how should we continue from here? These two, do I want it here? I can take it out. Like I mentioned to you just now, it depends on my mood. Can I multiply the u and u together? Why not? Because this one is under the cos, so you cannot do this move. So, to make your life a lot simpler, let's rewrite them in this situation. And how do you continue from here? By parts. So this is what we call trigo substitution by parts. Trigo square root substitution by parts. I got it wrong. It's 4 things over there. Can you try and solve it first? I give you 1 minute, be quick. We are running out of time. I give you 1 minute, be quick. And then we are out of time. Oh shoot. Yeah, you can say, sir, am I differentiating u, sir? Well, if you memorize the pattern, you'll be quite fine. If you memorize the formula, then you get a bit confused. Just in my opinion. So, u sine u minus integrate sine u du. Du or dx? Du because it's here u. So integrating sine u, what do we get? Cos what? U or x? U. Integrating sine u again? Negative cos, so it's a plus there, for negative plus. Plus c u sine u. You guys okay until this far? Are you okay until this far? Yes. Should we leave our answer in this form? Sub back what? this one here, or sorry, this one. Yes, sub back. Sorry, I'm running out of time a bit. X sine square root u plus, sorry, not u there, x. Running out of time. This is outro, man. Are you happy with this? There's still one more mistakes. You are missing the 2, sir. So in exams, if I were you, I'll take my pencil and I circle this and I write it down over there, don't forget. I use my pencil and I do it there. Because that's normally what happens. So that's your final answers. Okay, alright? Happy? Congratulations if you got this far. You're good. Okay, give you a clap for yourself. You deserve it. Honey, as usual.